Now, creates feeling of hatred and revenge. Now, those students who are bitten by the teacher, sometimes they maybe feel depressed, sometimes they start hitting the teacher, sometimes the revenge attitude has been developed in those students who continuously getting the punishment in the classroom. And this is not good for any teacher. So before giving any punishment, before abusing anyone, before hurting anyone, just think what we are. What is discipline? Now see, here are options. Jump and discover the joy of flight. If we give some students that if you want to enjoy or he want to feel the joy of flight, or don't jump and I kick your butt out of the tree. If the bird start teaching the small children, if they fly, then they have to jump and then they may learn how to fly. But if they not, what it means? They throw it out, they give her a kick. Is this a way to teach? What kind of parenting is this? Is it a right way to teach children too? Now, here are some types of parenting which we found in our society, and even sometimes the teachers are behaving in the same way too. The first one is authoritarian. Authoritarian, where external controls will try to control the children from outside, like beating, sometimes the words, like punishment, or sometimes we give order not to move here, just sit it down in the seat or at the seat. They are not allowed to move in the classroom, they are not allowed to even speak it up. Now, these things create rebellion nature in the students. And sometimes they start hitting the teacher too, and they do not want to continue in the school, or they do not want to attending, or sometimes they start bunking the classroom. Now, these are the 3 R's of punishment. Resentment. Now, in which way a teacher can punish the students? Sometimes we show the anger. Sometimes the revenge. Oh, this child has done this, I have to punish him. Then he will be learn how he had to behave in the classroom. Sometimes retreat means we start making fun of the students, we start making comment on him related to his social situation, sometimes related to the classroom knowledge. In so many ways, we start decreasing the student's position also with the making of comments on them. Or this position related to self-esteem, sometimes they are sneaky also. They feel a coward. These are the 2 ways through which 3 R's which are not allowed in the classroom. Where did we ever get the crazy idea that in order to make a child do better, first we have to make them feel worse? Now, really, it's a worse thing for the teacher. If you want to correct them, they sometimes what we do, we start giving punishment. Sometimes we start throwing them out from the classroom. Sometimes we start abusing them. Sometimes we start making them fun in the classroom that they feel depressed, and then they sit down silent in the class. It's our thinking. You can't say where this idea comes from. Sometimes even the teacher said, if you want to spoil the child, left the rod. But that was not the right way in modern context. Children do better when they feel better. It's a simple phenomenon of the whole world. If any children feel better in the classroom, if he felt respect in the classroom, he will able to understand in a better way. He was loving the class. He start loving the class if he feel respect and if he was getting attention by the teachers too. The another parenting is permissive. Permissive means for everything they have to want the attention, permission from their parents, from the teacher. Freedom without order means if they want the freedom, then they have the permission to do this. At least they are free to think. On some places, if they feel restrictions, they never will develop themselves. Sometimes we have to free the students to do whatever they want in a positive way. And it's a very essential for a teacher to create some manipulative personality, aggression, and independence. And if we are able to create manipulative personality in ourselves, definitely we able to handle our students in a very good way. Means before punishing them, better to understand their problem, better to know the reason why they are doing this. These things are very essential to know. Some parents are authoritative too. In a very democratic way, they handle their children. And we have to follow the same democratic way to handle the students too, to make discipline in our class too. And that discipline should be positive, not with the help of the stick, not with the abusing, not with the comment. We know very well, give and take respect. So mutual respect is there. We have to cooperate, and children learn this cooperation from us. Every time we do not want to give the order. Sometimes they have the freedom to put up their own thinking, their own, they implement their own way also. And when we start creating a self-disciplined child who is responsible for own actions, if he feel respect, if he start cooperating, if he free to ask anything, definitely he start feeling a discipline also. Whatever the action, whatever the things he will do in the class, that is according to the norms or rule. Now we have to think why these children are misbehaving, why the children are start misbehaving in the classroom. So many times we have seen that some students who are very good in their childhood days, they are very good in the early primary classes. At the time past, when they reach into the senior classes, they start making noise, sometimes disturbing the class. We have to know the reason behind why they are doing this, why they are misbehaving. A misbehaving child is a discouraged child. Simple. Discouraged child in any way, whether he was discouraged at home or in classroom. We have to think on this. Why he is misbehaving? And if we start thinking, the reason, it is based on a child's mistaken interpretation of how to find belonging. Misbehavior is what? Is based on child's mistaken. Means whatever the mistake he is doing, on the basis of that, he starts saying he is misbehaving in the class. And we have to know the reason also why he is. And these are the goals. Why they are misbehaving, we have to think on these goals. For what purpose a child is misbehaving in the class? Whether you want the attention of the teacher or the class, or whether you want to show his power that he has some ability, he has some ability to attract, or something he will do, which is sometimes a negative too. Sometimes he start making noise, doing naughty things in the class to take a revenge sometimes from the students, and even sometimes teachers too, from whom he start hating. One more thing which I would like to share. The students are not misbehaving in every class. Sometimes some specific classes they are misbehaving. It means some teachers have not able to judge the reason behind it. And if they start thinking this, why they are misbehaving, what are they want? Attention, power, revenge, or something else. And sometimes they start behaving to give up. Let what the teacher is teaching, I'm not going to listen. They give up the things that I'm not able to learn, I'm not able to understand these things. And as a teacher, if it's start in our class, these things start in our class, then we are not a good teacher. We have to think on our activity, what we are doing in our classroom. So it's very essential to think. Now, these are the most common reasons for misbehavior. Most of the students want attention in the class. We know very well that around 30 to 40 students in every class we have, sometimes more than that. And it's quite difficult to ask, to attentive to every student. But if you want to give attention to every student, part-wise we will do. Sometimes with the asking questions, sometimes giving the responsibility, sometimes we'll give some preference to those students who are not getting a chance. Because most of the time, whenever we ask the question, the students who are good in or who are talented, they mostly reply the answer. And those who are
Yes, nice.
yes, please. Sorry for the disconnection. It's an internet problem, so I am unable to pick it up. I think now I am audible. Everyone, I am able to listen. I am audible to all.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Now, most common reason is the misbehavior. A misbehavior for what? The attention. Every student wants the attention of the teacher, and sometimes he wants the attention of the class too. What he is doing. Sometimes they rub their legs while sitting in the classroom. Sometimes they make a different sound in the classroom. Sometimes they ask such silly questions which is not essential to ask. Now, these all things are a sign of misbehavior. And if the teacher will not ready to understand what the students want, definitely we not able to educate every student. So it's our priority to think about those children also who are not getting attention of ours. And in so many ways, if we want, we will give attention to the students too. Now, what the solution we have behind all this behavior which the students are doing? Now, most common and suitable thing is to spend special time with the child each day. Now, do you think it's possible for us to spend special time with the child each day? The answer is, if you want to spend, how much time we have to give, and when we have to give a special time to each student. Each student, if we ask a single question, if we see a student, if we ask the name of those students, if we announce the name of students in the classroom, that should be a special attention for that child. But this is a question, how much time we will spend in it? How the students will feel that he is getting the attention of the teacher? It's very essential to think Until he is not able to understand, the teacher is listening him, the teacher is thinking about him, he continuously misbehaving in the classroom. So it's our responsibility to think about those children who are making or who are doing misbehaving, sometimes who are doing something which is not good for a healthy classroom. Solution to attention problems means what we will do to give attention to every student. If it's possible for us, then we have to ignore them. If ignore means on some extent we have to ignore the students who they are making. Now, how we ignore them? Whatever they are doing, we try not to see those things in a classroom and try to give attention ourselves when they are doing something good. Now, when they start noticing that teacher is ignoring for the bad work and giving attention when they are doing something good, at the place of doing the bad or negative activity in the classroom, they start performing good things. Sometimes we have to redirect them also. Redirect, it not means we start ordering, we start scolding them. In a very polite way, we can say to stop those things. And whatever the reason we have to give a logical consequences behind whatever he is doing. And what they want, if we start asking their choices too in the classroom, out of all the 6 stages in the classroom, most of the time, what we do, when we enter into the classroom, after entering the classroom, without knowing what the children want, they like to continue their study or they want to do something else. How we say this? How we bring them on the track for the study? And if we ask their choices, tell me what you want to do today. Let's we continue the chapter or you want to do something different. No, it's depend on the teacher quality that he or she will bring the students on their topic. Now, how they will bring, what they will do, these are the things to think over. Now, solution to our problems. Withdraw, cool off, problem solve together, win cooperation, then act. Our problems, those who want to show their power. Sit together, try to solve the problem. Try to make the student school, whatever he is doing, an irritation. Sometimes they start fighting to show their power. These all things we have to ignore and act according to get their confidence in us. 4 steps of winning cooperation. Get into child's world. Means, as a teacher, we have to enter their world, what they are thinking. Because if you want to win their heart, we have to think according to them. We have to try to show our understanding with them, that we are able to understand their problems and they are able to share. When we show our I'm not saying that intimacy, when we start showing our politeness with them, when we start motivating with the emotional touch, definitely they will share their feelings too. And then we find a solution of their problems. What the solution of a revenge? First, after knowing the reason, After winning their belief, if we both sit together, knowing the problem, then we are able to solve the problem. After getting the reason behind the revenge, and what will do those revenges in their future life. If students have such emotions to take a revenge from someone, sometimes he or she is wrong. Sometimes due to some reason he was in this situation to take revenge. And where he need a mentally, a psychological support, and where he had made mistakes. In both the places, we have to, they are making wrong things or not. They apologizes or not. If they themselves feel that they are making wrong things, they are doing wrong things, definitely they feel apologize for that too. If he or she is able to believe on a teacher, if he himself is able to attach with the teacher, then he will start thinking, he will start sharing everything. Solution to in-education problems means whatever the things which he not get enough in the classroom, avoid pettiness, encourage and train, create small success, don't give up. Avoid pity. Every time if he starts showing the pettiness to the students, बेचारा घर में problem है, whatever the things he has, whatever the reason behind that, if we always try to start showing our emotional pettiness to them, definitely he start taking it not as a positive sign, but he start befooling the teacher too. So we have to encourage for the right thing. And whenever they do something good, we have to reward them. And never think that we are unable to correct this child. We always bring them on a right track. And if we continuously doing this, definitely one day he or she will start thinking on the right. Believe that children are basically good. What do you see below? It's a fly. Make sure the message of love always gets through. And whenever we are giving anything in the class, and if there is a love for the children, if he or she will able to understand our emotions with them, that whatever we are doing, it's for their goodness, for their betterment. They never go on a wrong track. They always listen us. It is impossible to solve problems at the time of conflict. Now, this is another thing. What happened in the classroom? As we see that those students are fighting, we start scolding them, sometimes giving them punishment. At the same time, which is very wrong. At that time, it's essential to cool them down. Until they're not cool, until they're not in a normal situation, they never be able to understand what they are doing. Because anger makes them negative. And after become cool, then they are able to listen. Then they are able to understand what the mistakes they are doing. Children will listen to you after they feel listened. Now, this is the right thing. This is the thing which we have to do. If they start listening us, then they feel whether they are wrong or right. Natural logical consequences. What are the reasons? What are the natural and logical consequences? Simply happen naturally. No cold in the cold. Means naturally in a cold season we start wearing some dresses. So natural. Logical are decided upon the imposed by parents and teachers. And sometimes the teacher will decide what they have to. The way in which they develop themselves, it's a natural thing. And if the teacher or the parents start imposing them, no, you have to do this, no, you have to do this, that is better for you. This is illogical things. Their natural quality never come up when they feel everything imposed on them. So sometimes we have to let them, free them. What needs to be done? firm, calm, positive toward child. Means for every child, we have to be always think positive, whether he was in creating any type of nonsense in the class. If we determine, if we have a firmness, and in a cool way, in a very calm way, if we start handling those students in a very positive way, definitely will bring the students in the right track. He or she will definitely understand 3 R's for a logical concept: related, respectful, and reasonable. Means first we have to relate ourselves. If he or she is able to understand, then we are respectful for it. And with the reason, if he get the reason behind that, why this person is start thinking of why he is doing this, if the children will able to understand, definitely he will able to think whether the teacher is right or wrong. Means if he start thinking about the reasons too, reason behind our behavior, reasons if we are able to understand behind his behavior too, means reason on the both sides, the way in which a teacher is behaving with the students and the way in which the students is behaving with the teacher, if both are able to understand each other, definitely they will make a good environment in the classroom. An alternative means what are the things to do to correct the children at the place of hitting them, at the place of punish or making comments, which normally we are doing in the classroom. Gives child time to calm down and time to think about the correct way to act. Means at the same time, we do not want to correct whenever they make mistakes. Just let them for some minutes. And then we have to talk with them. We have to motivate them. Child is moved away from others and effective consequences. We know very well that anger is not for permanent. It comes for sudden, for revenge or some whatever the reason. And after some time, will cool down. Then at that time, the children will be able to understand what he or she had done. Only use if child is out of control, hurting others or destroying things. At that time, we have to give some space, give some time to think whatever the activity he had done. Choose a location that is dull and away from others. Means whenever we have to motivate the children, not in front of the class. Whenever we have to tell his mistakes, always try to choose a location which is away from the other children. Because that is the best way to realize them, to make them realize whatever he had done is right or wrong. Use timeout immediately after misbehavior occurs. Length of time, 1 minute for each year of age. Yes, whatever the age of the students, according to that, we have to provide the time. Don't talk to child until afterwards. Make sure they understand the why. Reward good behavior after timeout, as soon as they do something positive. And if this thing is start implementing by the teacher, they start giving the reward, especially to those students who are making misbehavior in the class. Definitely they start thinking whether they are wrong or right. Now, what are the steps which we will take to make our class more disciplined? Redirect, check it out. Speak to the child about the problem. Give choices. Use logical and natural consequences. Use timeout if still out of control. These things which we will take steps to make our class more disciplined. Now, here are some rules for the classroom discipline. We have some rules, and time to time we are reminding them also. But we know very well that children want fences too. They do not want always freeness, because if they start thinking about only freeness, then they never able to understand the betterness of the fences too. We like to live with our parents. In the same way, children too, if they feel happy. We are not bound them to sit. Sometimes they feel free, sometimes they are in bound. Both the things go together. Then we make them a good person. Be nice to teacher and classmates. It's a simple rules, short and simple. Nice to teacher and classmates. The rule one, raise hands to speak. Whenever they have to speak, they have to raise hands. Walk in halls. Walk in halls, not run. Means wherever they want, they run. Be silent or whisper. Resist giving attention to the disruptor. Someone is disturbing their class. Resist means without giving a proper attention to anyone who is disturbing the class, we simply say, someone is disturbing the class. Who is that? Without taking his name, then go slow near to him and place hand on his shoulder without saying anything, and try to involve them whatever is going on in the classroom. And whenever we have the time after the period, try to talk privately and ask, what can I do to get your help? Whatever you are doing, it's not good. Definitely he or she will be able to understand the things, what we are doing. Forbidden discipline actions. Now, these are the things which we have not to do in our classroom. Spanking, slapping, hitting, shaking, pulling, pinching, no teasing, no humiliation, no result, no insults, no threatening, no frightening, and no laughing at. These are the very, very essential forbidden discipline, which never be in our action. We have to think on this, that we never do these things in our classroom too. Always remember, mistakes are wonderful opportunities to learn. It's a very good thing. If you not make any mistakes, we're never able to learn too. As mistakes are wonderful opportunities to learn. If we are able to understand this line, we definitely accepted those mistakes done by the children too. So whatever the mistakes we are doing, we have to also think on that. Recognize your mistake, reconcile, then accept it also. I'm sorry. Then focus on solution rather than blame. And if the teachers start thinking on solutions, not on the blame, definitely they will reach at that position where they able to get respect from the children. Keep rules short and simple. You teach what you are. Think over what are you. Means whatever you teach what you are. Means whatever we are teaching, we teach according to our choice. But just think what we are. What are you? What we are doing. This is very important thing to think. It's a question left for everyone. Think whatever we are doing in the classroom. It's not a matter to discuss. It's a thing to think over it and do whatever is good for us, whatever is right for us, which is very essential. Now, I would like to close my session. If it's possible, I want to share a small video on the same topic, discipline. If the sound is able, I'll just try to share that video too. After getting
औरत यहाँ स्कूल के टीचर है, तो जो कमाती है
मेरे पास कुछ है, इसमें कैसे शेयर हो सकता है वो सोच रहा हूँ। एक वीडियो संतोष सर है क्या? संतोष यादव देखिए। सर मैं इसमें से करना चाहता हूँ, अपने पेन ड्राइव को कैसे निकालूं? ये चलेगा, शेयर हो रहा है, साउंड नहीं जा रहा,
आ रहा है
हाँ आ रहा है,
साउंड इसका।
नहीं हो रहा ना अपने, स्क्रीन शेयरिंग नहीं हो रहा, कोई चाहिए टीचर तब ना, कोई नहीं है, संतोष सर कॉल करेंगे, नहीं होगा तो क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, वीडियो शेयर करना है मुझे, स्टार्ट वीडियो, चैट रिमोट कंट्रोल मोड कहाँ है, वीडियो कैसे शेयर किया जाता है, किसी को पता है? खोलिए ना, कॉल कर, just a minute, I am sharing a small video on same positive discipline. I think I am audible. Okay. I want to share this video to all of you. Very good video on the same positive discipline by some teachers. So I think it's a very good example to see which way we have to handle this thing if they are making noise in the classroom too. For the delay, really, I'm sorry, something which related to the computer, which I'm unable to handle. So
Admit. Yeah.
just a minute. I want to share this video with the sound. How I can? Sharing is already. Screen sharing is there. I want to share this video.
कहाँ है वीडियो?
वीडियो नहीं ऑन किया था मैंने, इसी मीडिया पे अंदर है। I think everyone is able to.
उठ जा, अरे उठ भी जा। जोर लगा के, जोर लगा के। क्या करूं मैं इन बच्चों का? 5 मिनट बिना शोर मचाए नहीं रह सकती। यहाँ तक आवाज आ रही है, सबको बेंच पे खड़ा कर दूंगी।
अरे रहने दे, कितना भी जोर लगा ले देर से नहीं उठेगा।
नहीं रवि, हाथ के बाद नीचे तुम जोर लगाओ।
मैं भी इसे रमेश से बहस नहीं किया है।
नहीं, मैंने रवि ने कहा था। नहीं रमेश ने।
मैंने नहीं विकी और रवि ने ही शुरू किया है।
इनके झगड़े में तो मुझे चोट भी लग गई।
मैं कितने मेरा पैर उठा
मैम ये मेरी बेंच है, मैं किसी को नहीं बैठने दूंगा। ओह, तो ये उल्टी हुई डेस्क आप लोगों को परेशान कर रही है, हाँ? कोई बात नहीं। महेश, राजीव, इधर आइए, अपने दोस्त की मदद कीजिए, उठाइए इसको। वेरी गुड, ये हुई ना बात। इनके लिए जोरदार तालियां। और आप दोनों इनको थैंक यू बोलिए। बैठिए, बैठ जाइए दोनों।
सही बता रहा हूँ मैम, थोड़ा और देर से आती ना तो ये डेस्क उठा चुका होता।
कोई बात नहीं, अगली बार ट्राई कर लेना।
चलिए हम आगे की पढ़ाई की तरफ बढ़ते हैं। ओके, अच्छा अच्छा, सुनो 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 बच्चों, सुनो, मेरे पास एक नया खेल है।
लगभग आई गया।
All of you are able to see this video nicely?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Able.
बहुत मजेदार है, तुम लोग खेलोगे मेरे साथ? इस खेल का एक नियम है, बहुत ही रोचक। नियम ये है कि हम जो कुछ भी करेंगे साथ में ध्यान पूर्वक करेंगे और एक साथ करेंगे सब।
मतलब मैम?
मतलब ये, बैठ जाओ, हम सबको गिनती तो आती है ना, 1 2 3 4 5। ओके, अब हम हर एक नंबर के साथ एक एक्शन जोड़ेंगे, जैसे कोड एक्शन। हर एक नंबर का मतलब एक एक्शन होगा। ओके, और जैसे ही मैं वो नंबर बोलूंगी हम सब उस एक्शन को एक साथ करेंगे। समझ गए? सोचो, एक नंबर मतलब ताली बजाना, नंबर 2 हंसना, 3 नंबर मतलब रोना, नंबर 4 शांत हो जाना। ठीक है? 2, ध्यान नहीं दे रही थी तुम। 2 का मतलब है हंसना। दोबारा से 2, 1, 3, 4। वेरी गुड। अब सब लोग अपनी अपनी हिंदी किताबें निकालो। पेज नंबर 34 निकालो प्लीज। 34 नंबर पेज पे जाओ प्लीज। सबने निकाला पेज? लता, पहला पैराग्राफ पढ़ो।
विशेष उत्पादनों की खपत हो जाती थी। ऐसा लगता है कि पूरा गांव सहकारिता के असूल पर काम करता था।
ओके, आगे का कौन पढ़ेगा? आगे का तुम पढ़ो।
पूरा गांव सहकारिता के उसूल पर काम करता था और बड़े ठेके लेता था। शायद इस तरह अलग और रहने और संगठित होने से जाति प्रथा का विकास और विस्तार हुआ। जातकों में सौदागरों की समुद्री यात्राओं से हवाले भरे हुए हैं।
आगे का तुम पढ़ो।
गुस्सा करने से पहले थोड़ा सा काउंट 10 जो हम करते हैं एंगर को कंट्रोल करने, ऐसे ही हम टीचर को कहते हैं थोड़ा सा स्टेप बैक करें। क्यों मुझे गुस्सा क्यों आया, क्या रीज़न था, और मैं अगर गुस्सा ना करूं तो क्या कर सकती हूँ। क्योंकि बच्चे को थप्पड़ मारा, बच्चा चुप करके लिखने लग गया, वो समाधान नहीं है। समाधान ये है कि जो गुस्सा आने के ट्रिगर पॉइंट्स हैं उनको टीचर बच्चे के साथ एनालाइज करे, क्यों बच्चे ने ऐसे बिहेव किया, और टीचर अपने गुस्से को अपने कंट्रोल में रखकर सोचे कि बच्चे की ये एक नेचुरल टेंडेंसी है मिसचिफ करना। हाँ, हो सकता है उसने ज़रूरत से ज़्यादा किया है, तो बच्चों के साथ डिस्कस करके एक एनवायरनमेंट बनाए जिसमें थोड़ी बहुत मिसचिफ बच्चे करें लेकिन इतना ना करें कि टीचर को गुस्सा आए।
अंकुश जाओ, तुम पानी वानी पी के आओ और थोड़ी सी हवा खा के आओ, ठीक है? जाओ। शांत हो गए? क्या हुआ था?
सर मैं बोर्ड से अपने नोट्स उतार रहा था।
अच्छा, पर झगड़ा कैसे शुरू हुआ?
सर अंकुश पीछे से आया और मेरा हाथ हिलाकर चला गया, मेरी कॉपी खराब हो गई। फिर वो सामने से आया और मेरा हाथ हिलाकर चला गया और स्याही की शीशी मेरी कॉपी पर गिरकर सारी काम खराब हो गया।
अच्छा, तो इतनी सी बात पे झगड़ा शुरू? हाँ, ये भी हो सकता है उससे गलती से हुआ हो।
सर मैंने उससे कहा भी, फिर वो अपनी बिना गलती माने मुझसे भिड़ गया, तो मैं क्या उसे छोड़ता? सारी गलती तो सिर्फ उसकी है।
अच्छा अच्छा, अब शांत हो जाओ, ठीक है? शांत हो।
सर क्या मैं अंदर आ सकता हूँ?
हाँ हाँ, आओ अंदर आओ। अच्छा सुनो, तुम जाओ, जाके हाथ मुंह धो और आराम से पानी वानी पी के आओ। जरा इधर आओ। बैग क्यों लेके आ रहे हो भाई? हाँ,
सर नीरज ने सारी गलती मेरी ही बताई होगी, तो आप मेरे को क्लास से बाहर निकाल दोगे तो ठीक है सर, मैं अपनी सजा के लिए तैयार हूँ।
तो ये चल रहा है तुम्हारे दिमाग में? ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, बैग रखो वहाँ और वापस आओ। इधर आओ। क्या हुआ था?
सर नीरज ने नहीं बताया, पहले वो गुस्सा कर चिल्लाकर मुझे मारने के लिए आया।
झगड़ा किस बात पे हुआ ये बताओ विस्तार से।
मेरी तो कोई गलती नहीं है, मुझे पता ही नहीं था कि ये क्या हो रहा है। नीरज पीछे से आके चिल्लाने लगा और कहने लगा कि मैंने उसकी कॉपी खराब कर दी है और वो मेरी कॉपी फाड़ देगा।
फिर क्या हुआ?
वो मेरी कॉपी फाड़ा था तो मैं क्या खड़ा के देखता उसको, मेरे को गुस्सा आ रहा है।
और तुम जाके उससे भिड़ गए? हाँ, तुमने जानने की कोशिश की कि ऐसा क्यों हुआ? तुम्हारा हाथ उसकी कॉपी से लगा या नहीं लगा?
नहीं सर।
सर मैं कुछ कहूँ?
हाँ हाँ कहो।
सर मैंने देखा था अंकुश का पाँव इस बेंच से टकराया और वह लड़खड़ा गया, जिससे नीरज का हाथ हिल गया।
अच्छा, अब समझ में आया क्या है झगड़े की जड़। थैंक यू अमृता, बैठो। तो इसका मतलब ये गलती अनजाने में हुई। हाँ, किसी ने ये जानने की कोशिश ही नहीं करी कि बात क्या थी। हाँ, तो अब क्या किया जा सकता है?
सर साथियों में तो अनबन हो जाती है ना।
और साथियों में इस तरह से तकरार होना अच्छी बात नहीं है ना? और फिर ये दोनों तो हमारी क्लास के सबसे होनहार बच्चे हैं।
मैं कम इन सर?
हाँ हाँ, आओ आओ नीरज, जगह बैठो अपनी जगह पे। चलो तुम भी बैठो। बच्चों, अब हम इस बात पे संवाद करेंगे। संवाद मतलब बातचीत करेंगे, ठीक है? इस बार का जो पाठ है वो अगले घंटे में करेंगे, ठीक है? हैं? अच्छा अच्छा, पर अब शांत 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 हो जाओ, फिर बात शुरू करेंगे, ठीक है? अब हम ये जानने की कोशिश करेंगे कि ये एक दूसरे के बारे में क्या सोचते हैं और बाकी लोग क्या सोचते हैं। तो जरा तुम बताओ, तुम नीरज के बारे में क्या सोचते हो?
सर नक्सड़ा, गुस्सैल, बात बात पे धमकाने वाला और पढ़ाई में अकड़ दिखाने वाला।
अच्छा, बैठ जाओ। और नीरज, तुम क्या सोचते हो उसके बारे में?
झूठा, लापरवाह, नोट्स उतारने की जगह पर घूमता रहता है और दूसरों की किसी की भी नहीं सुनता।
अच्छा, ये तो बड़ा कमाल की बात है। चलो, तो अब नीरज एक और बात बताओ, अंकुश के बारे में कोई दो बातें जो बहुत अच्छी हैं।
सर वो दूसरों की मदद कर देता है और सर सबके साथ हंसी मजाक करता है।
अच्छा, ये दो चीज़ें उसमें बहुत अच्छी हैं। अच्छा तुम बताओ।
सर मुझसे नहीं होगा ये।
अरे हो जाएगा, ज़रा कोशिश करो।
सर क्लास में ये अपने नोट से दिखा देता है।
गुड, एक बात तो तुमने बताई, दूसरी बात?
और सर ये क्लास में फर्स्ट भी आता है।
क्लास में फर्स्ट भी आता है। गुड, बैठो। तो हमने देखा ये दोनों ने एक दूसरे के बारे में कुछ कुछ बताया, तो क्या बात निकली?
सर अंकुश को होशियारी से उठना चाहिए था और नीरज को एकदम से लड़ना नहीं चाहिए था।
शाबाश, बैठो निशा। और कोई?
सर जी पहली गलती पे ही नीरज को टोकना था, मगर प्यार से समझाकर पूरी बात बताकर।
ये और अच्छी बात कही, वेरी नाइस। बैठो। और कोई?
सर नीरज को तो पहली बार में ही सतर्क हो जाना चाहिए था।
सतर्क हो जाना चाहिए था, बहुत अच्छा बोला।
सर मैं कुछ कहूँ?
हाँ हाँ बोलो।
सर अगर नीरज ने अपनी दबात बंद कर ली होती तो स्याही गिरती ही नहीं और लड़ाई शुरू ही नहीं होती।
वेरी गुड, बहुत अच्छी बात कही। तो तुम लोगों ने देखा कि कैसे ये दोनों एक दूसरे के अच्छी और बुरी दोनों बातें जानते हैं, है ना? जब अंकुश सबकी मदद करता है और नीरज भी सबकी मदद करता है तो इन दोनों के बीच में लड़ाई तो होनी नहीं चाहिए थी, है ना? अगर वो जो अभी इन्होंने एक दूसरे की अच्छाई बताई वो उस टाइम इनके दिमाग में होती तो झगड़ा होता? नहीं होता ना? तो आओ दोनों इधर आओ मेरे पास, इधर आओ। तुम इधर आओ। हाँ, दोनों हाथ मिलाओ, मिलाओ हाथ। वेरी गुड। अब ऐसे ही रहना है, हाँ? चलो बैठो।
Now, I think whatever the motive we have behind playing this video, all of you are able to understand. How many of you like this video? You like this?
Yes, sir. This video is very informative. Very informative video. It is very informative video.
Thank you, sir. And with this video, I would like to conclude my session. The next session will start at 2:20. So due to some problem, we started our session very late, so we have shortened our lunch break for the 20 minutes only, 25 minutes only. We'll meet again at 2:25. So,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
thank you, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
चल रही थी ना तो पॉज कर दिए हैं और 220 पे बोले हैं दोबारा से रिवाइंड करने के लिए।
तिवरिया वाला का नंबर बा। तिवरिया वाला का नंबर बा। 3 बजे वाली कहाँ मिले? 3 बजे कौन बस भी? बस स्टैंड वो छुट्टी तो ठीक है, तो एक में लिख रहे हैं 2 दिन के बाद तो 2 डेज लीव, 3 दिन के बाद तो 3 डेज लीव हो। ग्रांट में 3 डेज लीव हो गया। हाँ किसी से कुछ नहीं तो कहते कि कोनो बस के गारंटी नहीं कभी कभी कैंसिल होता है। हाँ तिवारी बसर भर ले जाएंगे ये वो वाला पानी भर ले रास्ता है ना लोग रास्ता अंदाज में नहीं सब चमरा नंबर है लाइव पकड़ लेते हैं ये पकड़ लीजिए नहीं चलो ये दीजिए हम लेते हैं अब कहाँ से 225 वाली पकड़ा है चलो हो गई लड़ाई बज गई अब कैसे बोले ना जी हम हो जाके जा चलो रात में खाऊंगा मेरे में से पार्टिसिपेंट सब 0 हो गए अरे मास्टर से ना 5 ऊपर आता है आज नहीं में खराटा कैंसिल है मुझे कैंसिल हो हाँ क्या हुआ बता कौन पोता बोल आ बता तो चलो फिर बोल दिए चलो अब हाँ अब चलो तो हाँ हाँ मेरे में सब गायब हो गया मेरे में अटेंडेंस दे दिए। हम 3 बजे बस है सर, आरा जाने के लिए। कल फिर आएंगे फिर सर इंटरसिटी से 10:30 में, तो ये लोग चालू ही कर रहे हैं, तब तक तो हम आए ही जाए। अटेंडेंस सबमिट हो गया है सर लास्ट सेशन का भी।
ऑनलाइन क्या होता है वेबिनार हम भी समझते हैं, लेकिन जो फॉर्मेलिटी है वो तो हम लोग को पूरा कर देना हो।
डेकोरम तो पूरा करना है, बात सही है।
वेबिनार ऑफलाइन हो, वेबिनार करें, सेमिनार ऑफलाइन है तो ज्यादा बेहतर है।
पहले अच्छा लगता था सर, इंग्लिश का यहाँ पर होता था, हम लोग आते थे, बड़ा अच्छा लगता था। अब इसमें अब वो मजा नहीं आता है।
तो हिंदी भाषी बहुत ज्यादा सेमिनार वगैरह वो सब चीजें तो आप अपने आप को प्रिपेयर करके जाइए, ये बना के जाइए, वो बना के जाइए, तब तो हिंदी में बहुत करता है। हम क्या सकते हैं सही सर की हम ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं उसको ना, तो अंडर प्रेशर में आ जाएगा, अंडर प्रेशर में आ जाएगा।
जाना दीजिए, बेटर के नहीं ज्वाइन।
आपको बाई रोड बता रहे हैं।
मेरे में सभी पार्टिसिपेंट गायब हो गए, 5 गो रह गए।
सब जाना, कराने वाला भी जान रहा है सच्चाई, ऐसा थोड़ी सब जान रहा है कि क्या होता है क्या नहीं होता है। नहीं इसका तो कोई ये नहीं है। सेमिनार में होता है क्या, एक ना वो हो जाता है, क्या हो जाता है, मिलन समारोह एक तरह का हो जाता है वो, मतलब एक दूसरे से लोग परिचय होता है।
में यहाँ इंग्लिश दिखा रहा होता है, यहाँ से आप उसको चेंज कर सकते हैं लैंग्वेज प्रेफरेंस में जाके। सारी लैंग्वेज जो होती हैं वो कंप्यूटर में रहती हैं, सिर्फ मुझे उनको रिकॉल